That's how I do it. With a pre-filled amount, $5 or something, or 500.
We were talking about uh, API keys and uh, not getting those jacked on your local machines, right? Um, there's a lot of third parties that have these managers, but there's this one trick that I've been using for a while now is it's called peppering. So you have your
Peppering.
sheet of pepper in it. So what you're doing is you're adding pepper to it to make it spicy and right, and no database wants it if it's all spicy and damaged. So like for example, you can in your list of APIs that you've got them in Excel or wherever you got them or Google Docs, whatever, have a system in your mind where you add a particular either one or two characters to that every API in the exact same way. Right. So you paste in your API from somewhere, whatever the code is, and then your IDs, and then at a certain location, you add in a certain letter or a number.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. And so what happens is when that, if your thing gets scraped and they start using it and they start trying to parse and clean the data, it will get rejected because it's too long or it's invalid. Right. But then when
Hmm.
you use your APIs, you just know that, hey, I always pepper in this one spot. So you take the pepper out
So
when you're
you
about to
delete
use it.
them. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
That's a good
So that's
idea.
one way you can do it really locally, right? And you don't have
Yeah.
to use a third party. It's just in your brain, and it's some extra way to keep you from, yeah, getting your data taken.
Yeah, so I was like I said in the chat, I was talking to the cybersecurity guy, and this guy's 20 years in the business, like he's an
Oh,
expert. He's
nice.
as expert as anybody gets. And
Yeah,
he was saying like that, yeah, like the prompt injections, they're like major problem and no real good answer to it. So like what he was telling me is like you start with a dumb basically parser that pulls out
yeah.
data that's not intelligent. And what he says is the more intelligent the model, the more susceptible to prompt injection it is.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because when it has to think, that's when
Yeah.
like it swallows the prompt
The
injection.
payload. Yeah.
Yeah, so he says like you start with like a dumb parser and then you put maybe a dumb LLM in front of after that, and then you give it to your main LLM. And he says
Yeah.
that
Into your
that'll cover about
databases. Yeah.
75% of it. But
Yeah.
25% is a big
Yeah.
number. And he says
These all,
it could be white text on an email. So it's like you don't see
yeah.
anything. Human eyes don't see anything, but it's all
Yeah.
like it's buried in there when the man, that's just
So yeah, like I've heard talks now from Sam Altman and a few other guys, and they thought they would have this prompt injection problem solved, but then they've come to the realization it's not solvable.
yeah.
It's just the nature of how what we're doing here. It's not solvable.
What an Achilles heel, dude. It seems like
I
so
know.
sophisticated, but then this real simple thing, like you take a picture and he was even saying like, because part of his job, like what he does for a company, he works for a Brazilian companies and he's doing all their cybersecurity. So like part of what he does is, he tries to get past the systems, right? And so he's kind of like using these
Penetration
things and
testing.
yeah, exactly. And he
Yeah.
says like one of them, like so now the really popular one is haikus. There's a long haiku, and so like a data parser isn't going to catch it. It's like, oh, it's just a haiku, but like the haiku is enough for the smart LLM to understand it and take those instructions. And he said some of them are like they have Morse code in there, and then it works.
Jesus.
It's insane.
Yeah. So like using AIs then, of course, your models to create systems, but then once you have those systems created, you should harden them as much as you can. So
Yeah.
they're not susceptible and then try to limit the access to these really intelligent AIs is what he's saying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, you want to use the smart AI because that's what we're paying for. But um, there's no, there's no foolproof way to fix the prompt injecting. It's going to happen. But yeah, like the